Join with me on a journey into our past, back to our very roots. We'll go to where dreams were dreamed and where cannons roared, where bonds were formed and battles won. This trip will take us to the very start of that great nation that we call home, the United States of America. I hope to instill within each of us what they felt long ago, something that for them was a dream and for us is often taken for granted. We need to bring back a gratitude for the freedom that they paid the ultimate price for. Of all the nations that you could call home, God placed you here. How often do we think about what a blessing that is? Most of the world is told to silence their voices, but not us. We have the right to raise them high. How easy it is to forget this fortune and let it fade against the backdrop of daily life. We now move to the beginnings of this great nation. 104 souls landed on Virginia's shores, sent by the king to search for gold. Pilgrims followed, seeking freedom to worship their one true Lord. By 1700, their numbers grew. 250,000 settlers established 13 colonies. 70 years later, 2.5 million people populated the growing land. 4 generations of people with dreams and families of their own. They are us, just from long ago. They yearned for a future that brought them joy, but under Britain's flag, a shadow remained. They were free to wander, but only so far. They were free to speak, but not against the king. They were in bondage, but it was so normal. Their dreams, so far just a whisper, would grow to a shout that would make their king tremble. I wonder if they knew what their dreams would put into motion for the future of the land that they called home. George Washington, just 22 years old, fought with the British against the natives to claim more land. Colonists bled and sons died. The battle became known as the French and Indian War. Victory was sweet, but only for a moment. The British had debt to pay, and where would they find the money? From the thriving colonists oceans away. Sugar, tea, stamps, everything they had was then taxed. No more freedom to expand their land, the British told them. You will do as we command. Just when they had a taste of the expansion that they had hoped for their families, the very people that fought at their sides began to demand more from them. Put yourself in their shoes. Would you have the courage to fight against tyranny? To defy was death, but to do nothing was to not fully live. Life is meant to be lived, loved, not just tolerated. It is meant to be full of adventure, excitement, and passion, none of which could be done without braving a new path. 100 men with blackened faces went out one night, ready to protest their unjust king. That night in Boston, 90,000 pounds of tea were dumped into the harbor. British wrath rained down, ports closed, and more rights began to fade. Their hopes and dreams hung in the balance. Their children and future were all that mattered. 169 years of hard work, war, and devotion, and this is how their king repaid them? No, this would not do. There is more to life than this dimly lit view. Their future, our reality, was all that mattered to them now. Their patience had gone, and their yearning to fully live took over. Britain had held them in a cage for too long, and the fight was soon to begin. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is what fueled their hearts. Writing those words was sure to bring more death, but they remained steadfast in their resolve. No more taxes, no more injustice. Today was the day that they take the reins of their own destiny. Families prayed, pleading for peace. Pledging all, they sealed their hearts to the stream of freedom. A heartbeat was formed through veins of parchment and ink. A small nation of fathers, mothers, and brothers, willing to die to provide a future that their posterity deserved. Can we, like them, have the courage to stand for what's right? Can we continue to be the light for our posterity that they were for us? The final battle took place on Yorktown's fields, charging the British with courage and zeal. Led by George Washington, the siege lasted for several days. Forts fell and spirits rose. Could this be it? After all this time, was victory in reach? After many men had died, a white flag was raised. The British had surrendered, and the battle was won. The dream that was freedom was now waving high. The flag that flew was finally our own. This flag still flies today. How often do we walk by without lifting our heads or remembering in our hearts the price that they paid? With freedom won and victory secured, the leaders gathered in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A frame was forged to cradle our liberty, a cradle that held their freedom intact. The things they lacked for so long were now solidified in a document that was meant to be as strong as stone. We the people echoes through time, from the day it was written for as long as we uphold it. It's our job, our duty to withstand opposition that tries to erode it away. Their resolve was like a mountain that no wind can sway. Can we be strong just like them? For us, there's no battles, no blood, no fear. All that we have is their legacy, their history, and their memory. Young men died on the battlefield for what we have. What would they say to us if they were here today? They are us, but from long ago. Why are there so many of us who take it for granted? We live in peace, where we can find joy and dream. We must never forget what that means. They fought for their children, for us. With respect for their sacrifice, we must move forward, always remembering and preserving their memory. How can we do this? By living their dream. Be happy, be grateful, and love. This life is too short to give any of that up. They fought for this gift that's been given to you and me. Let us embrace it, for it was not given free. For us, it's been paid, and it's not just our gratitude that will suffice. I leave you with this invitation to live every day as though it's your last. Thank God and these men for the blessings we have.